Well, good morning or good evening, wherever we are. As Rochelle said, my name is Rolando Alvarez, CEO from Upcargo Logistics in Panama. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Rochelle and her PCN team for this opportunity. Thank you, Rochelle. I will show you how we coordinate the dismantling and export of a thermoelectric plant in a door-to-door service from Panama to Honduras. We did transport 163 pieces in 3,404 CBMs in 1,208 tons. Okay, part of these units were 19 MDUs or 50 tons engines each one. This represents the best part of the project because the complexity of the ocean transportation, based on the lack of options we had to transport from Cristobal Port in Panama to Puerto Cortes in Honduras with regular carriers. Here we have in the image the tugboat and the barge we used passing through the canal to the Miraflores Lock in the Panama Canal. And let me continue on this. The cost of the project was $1.3 million and includes the road study, the door-to-door logistics operation study, the plant dismantling, road habilitation, inland transportation, local logistic coordination in both countries. We also award the cargo insurance and special documentation as bank promissory notes, international transportation through the Panama Canal, which this is always an experience to do transport through the canal, reception of the cargo at destination, and delivery to final site. Okay, as I mentioned, this barge, when we have to look for the options, we look for every option with regular carriers, with break bulk carriers, until we found this barge. This is a 7,000 tons unit with dead weight, 90 meters length and 25 meters beam with a 20 feet draft. This is the Miraflores Lock, and the project was done at the Atlantic side because we have to deliver the cargo at Puerto Cortes, which is in the Atlantic side. But the point was that the barge was at the Pacific, so we have to calculate all the costs involved on the operation, including the cost passing the canal. Okay, let me go to this way. Well, let me mention some specific or general information about the Panama Canal, which I think is important to mention at this moment. The Panama Canal serves 170 countries in 180 different routes, and they work with 1,920 ports. The distance between the Atlantic and the Pacific is 80 kilometers only, and with it, the transit in 10 hours. Transit time is from 8 to 10 hours to transit the canal. These are very important points to handle because this make us probably make the decision to award the barge from the Pacific to the Atlantic. Okay, this is the thermoelectric plant layout, and at this point we started to face the first challenge of the project from the ones we learned some lessons. Okay, you can see here the MDUs, which are the main part, the 50 tons engines, they call MDUs, and the owner of the thermal plant sold it to 3 different customers in Honduras. That took us to deal our coordination at the same time with 2 more agents, truckers and custom brokers, which was not the best scenario because we, as the last one on the line to load our units, had to wait until any delay on our competitors' schedules. And that happened. we had a 3 weeks delay for some incident that happened with the first agent that was working at the plant. But we solved this situation with good communication and transparency in every single detail with our suppliers and customers. We always took the initiative and demonstrate them that we had to work as a unit. This is easy to say, but not easy to make it happen. I cannot lie to you that we faced some extra charges with these delays, with the barge charter and storage of some units, but we did have a good preventive logistics and contingency plan. Other challenge was how to handle a so intensive customer. In my 32 years in this business, I just have been working with so intensive customers twice. Some Spanish guys and these Honduran guys. This was very, very, very intensive. But they did not want to accept any mistake, and they repeated in every single meeting we had. But colleagues, let me tell you something. This is not something that for us. When we have a client like this, it is like when someone challenges you, and we must take advantage of this situation and be more professional than ever, demonstrating everything you know about the subject. It is a good opportunity to improve your team's skills and show it to everybody in the supply chain during the project, and we did it. And customer was satisfied with the complete service we delivered to them. Let me show you the packing list we handle. As I mentioned, 19 units that were the hardest part probably. But we had some situations with the ship-run containers. We moved 37 ship-run containers from the customer. Customer told us that they had the 37 ship-run containers ready to ship, including their license plates, but it wasn't true at all. And also caused a 1-day delay at port. And we had to help customer with our surveyor and get the license ready for the operation. And these are some of the units we transport. These are the MDUs I mentioned. They are a little bit higher than a 40-foot regular high cube container and a little bit wider. Okay, we use this specific. These are the other units we transport called HTU. These boilers were we have to be very careful with the infrastructure they have in the to make them transport to be loaded with our cranes and transportation equipment. And also we have this. This was the unit where they used to set all their electronics equipment for the thermoelectrical plant. And these are some of the other transport transformers we handle, very careful from the middle of the plant, and we have to do several movements to take them out. Okay, so let me see. At this point, we have to habilitate this corner. We have to work with 5 different low buoys. And as I mentioned to you, we have 2 other agents working together at the same time. But these were the units we were using for this, okay? And some of the places where we were the loading of the ship-run containers and the carriers on containers as well. It is important to mention also that we have like 5 different windows to work together. We work at the same time with CMA shipments, with MSC, Costco, and Hapag-Lloyd, including the barge agent. So we have to check with the ETD or ETA and transit times with 5 different companies, working with all the disruptions that you can imagine. Okay, we work with in a middle yard just to coordinate when we have the barge ready to be loaded at Port of Cristobal. So we have to work in a middle yard just to set the heavy pieces. Okay, this is a stowage plan we handle. I work together with the engineers from the barge in order to load the best way. so they can unload it at Puerto Cortes in the easiest way as well. Okay. In this image, you can see the Cristobal port. This is Pier 16, and the barge was already set, ready to be loaded. We work with an 800 crane capacity, 800 tons crane capacity, but we only need 400 tons capacity. So we didn't have to pay the 100 tons capacity, just the capacity we need. And we work at 24 hours a day during four days. The coordination of this project was more than that 6 months, and also day and night working on this. It's very, very specific. And this part is very important because this is the safety and security part of the operation. We weld these stoppers in every corner of any of the units we have, including the D-rings, in order to make the best lashing operation on top of the surface of the barge. So all the cargo was very, very safe and secure. Okay, and then we did the international transportation to Honduras. Panama and Honduras are very close here in Central America. And in this video, I would like to show you, this is the agent, one of the agents who they load the first set of MDUs. And this is what happened because these people, when they were trying to deliver the cargo, we already had our all equipment set on final site. They started, but we finished first. But I would like to show you what happened with these guys when they didn't find a solution by ocean and they tried to send it by land from Panama to Honduras. Check the infrastructure was hit by the top of the container, and it was damaging the infrastructure of the bridge. And they did this 6 times because they were transporting by land, making the trucking service. See the infrastructure? They are just hitting the infrastructure of the bridge. So it is just one thing that I would like to mention. The 2 important points. You always have to make sure on the knowledge of the agent you choose as your partner in any project you work. This probably sounds like an ABC of our industrial knowledge, but sometimes we just let some people that they don't know how to handle the cargo to put our interests on their hands. And the other thing is this specific competitor, as I mentioned, took more time, more money, and more expense to customer in the same project we work. So Rachel, this is what I want to exchange with all of you. Thank you for the opportunity, and if anybody have any question, just I'll be ready to answer. Thank you, Rachel.